You know, you can tell a lot about a president, what's in his heart, what's in his soul and mind, where he wants to take the country, by the people he appoints to top positions. There's a nomination sitting in the United States Senate, specifically in the Judiciary Committee. The president made a few weeks ago. And it's sitting there, and I've been keeping an eye on it, and I'm wondering when they're going to vote on it. And I think they're going to vote on it when there's some major event, some distraction going on, because many of us have not really focused on this. There's a division in the Justice Department called the Civil Rights Division. So much of what that division does has nothing to do with civil rights as commonly understood, and it has to do with abuse, federal abuse of power. That division, the Civil Rights Division, is populated mostly with far-left radicals, race baiters, bigots, that's right, who pretend otherwise. And they have these positions in the Civil Rights Division, which are sort of quasi-civil service positions. So you can only remove them for cause or for administrative purposes, but not for philosophical purposes. And as we've talked about before, this administration, this president and attorney general have loaded up the Civil Rights Division with ultra-radical leftists. Mark, what does that mean for us? Everything. Everything is said to be involved in civil rights. And so they have a very broad jurisdiction. Now, at present, there's not a permanent head of the Civil Rights Division, an assistant attorney general for civil rights. And the president nominated somebody who is sitting there, his papers are, in the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's a man who's obviously a lawyer who aggressively defended a cop killer. Barack Obama had to personally sign off on his nominating papers. This isn't some bureaucratic move. He signed the papers. He read the man's bio, his resume. He knew exactly who he was nominating. His name is Debo Adegbile. Adegbile. A-D-E-G-B-I-L-E. Debo Adegbile. He's a former NAACP legal defense official. Let me give you a little background. In 1982, as Katie Pavlich, our friend at Town Hall, explains, former Black Panther Mumai Abu Jamal was convicted of murdering Philadelphia police officer Daniel Faulkner. Now, Abu Jamal never denied the killing during his trial. And to explain briefly, as she points out, the question of his guilt is not even a close call. 2 hospital workers testified that Abu Jamal confessed to them, "I shot the mother effer, and I hope the mother effer dies." His brother William has never testified to his brother's innocence, even though he was at the scene of the crime, and Abu Jamal himself chose not to testify in his own defense. As Officer Faulkner tried to arrest Abu Jamal's brother during a traffic stop, Abu Jamal shot the policeman once in the back and then stood over him and shot him 4 more times at close range, once directly in his face. There were multiple eyewitnesses to the cold-blooded murder. One of the unapologetic supporters, defenders of Abu Jamal, is former NAACP legal defense official Debo Adegbile. who worked tirelessly to free this guilty murderer from prison. And of all the people in the United States who are at least technically qualified to head the Civil Rights Division at the Justice Department, even liberals, Barack Obama chose one of the most disgraceful, contemptible lawyers that I can think of. A man who worked tirelessly to free guilty murderer Abu Jamal. Now, what does this tell you? You know, when Bill O'Reilly said the other day, and this isn't an attack on him in any way, but when he said the other day, Obama's not out to hurt people like, you know, the hard right thinks. What is this? And it's not just this. His administration is filled with this. You know, maybe I long for the good old days of, like, before Obama, but if a president had in the past nominated somebody like this to any position, any public official position within his administration, there would be an outcry, a national outcry. Truly, other than the fringe, hardcore kook left, is there anyone who supports this? Other than Obama's goose-stepping foot soldiers in Congress, is there anybody who really supports this? And can you imagine what this guy would do as the head of the Civil Rights Division? Obama supports this guy. Obama nominated this guy. Obama plucked this guy from a list of zillions and decided that he should be the head of the Civil Rights Division. A man who was trying to get off a cop killer. And why is he going to be the head of the Civil Rights Division? Why should he be? What does this have to do with civil rights? Nothing. Isn't this something, seriously, folks, that the Republicans in Congress should be going to the floor of the House and the Senate day in and day out and talking about? Why must they always talk about what Obama wants them to talk about? Why must they always talk about what the consultants want them to talk about? What, are we going to debate the minimum wage for another 3 weeks? Or extending unemployment compensation for another 3 weeks? They've bottled that up. What about this? Does this not define the President of the United States? When he says, I'm no more liberal than Richard Nixon, would Richard Nixon nominate somebody like this to head the Civil Rights Division? Frankly, I can't think of another president who has served this country who would have nominated somebody like this. This exposes Obama. And yes, he's out to hurt people. I don't mean specifically, physically. But incomes, race relations, and on and on and on, yes. Yes. So who is going to go to the Senate floor and make an issue out of this? This nomination is active. It's not that old. It's sitting in the Judiciary Committee. And among other things, what I try to do here, we need to stay ahead of the curve. Like we're talking about the debt ceiling, we'll get into that more later too. These are not things to dismiss. They're important to us. This is an unconscionable act by this president. Absolutely unconscionable. A lawyer aggressively seeking to get off a cold-blooded cop killer who had his fair trial is nominated to head the Civil Rights Division. He shouldn't be nominated for anything in this country. Should he? And where are the Democrats? Where are the Democrats in the Senate? Is Harry Reid so totally out of it? Does Chuck Schumer really support this? Dick Durbin of Illinois? Are there no Democrats in the United States Senate who will speak out against this? None? Because I haven't heard any. Even those from red states. Well, now that I'm speaking out, maybe they will. But what do you think about a president who would nominate somebody like this? to be head of the so-called Civil Rights Division. It is a contemptible disgrace. And when you see Obama being interviewed with his top button untied, looking casual, having a nice chat, smiling, you say, this is a pretty good guy. What's the big deal? Really? Well, what's going on in his head? Is this lawyer a good guy? What kind of lawyer is attracted to defend a cold-blooded murderer like this? Oh, I know they're out there, but they don't have to be in high public office, do they? What kind of lawyer would do that? What kind of president would seek to appoint him? What kind of Democrat party is it that doesn't object to their own president doing this? And where the hell are the Republicans again? Are they still at the retreat? No, but they're still in retreat. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.